Hello friends, followers and family. Here is my video on my debut marathon experience. So this is a video putting together all the details of my marathon, how it went, the training I did, and all part and parcel of the marathon, what went into it, what came out of it, what my goals are for the future, and hopefully this will maybe inspire some people to run their first marathon or another marathon if they've already done one. So yeah, I wanted to share this with people because I share my whole journey through the training and TikTok and Facebook, Instagram, things like that. My family were following. I've had friends following the journey, and it's been great to share it with you all. And I just wanted to do a really good recap of the actual marathon because I literally made like one post just saying about how fast I ran, and that was kind of it. And considering I've made all these videos, I haven't really gone into detail on what it took to get there, what it took to achieve what I achieved, and what really happened over the whole process. So to start into it, I've got some bullet points here to try and not talk on forever because I love running so much, and I think everyone can tell how passionate I am about it, and making some goals and all that sort of stuff, that I could talk about it forever. So I try and keep it informative. I want to go into some detail so people can really understand what it was like and what happened, but I don't want to take too long and bore everyone at the same time. But let me know if you like the video at the end, and please feel free to drop comments so I can get back to you if you're a runner and you do want to talk about anything, or you want any advice or anything like that, or you want to give me some advice. It'd be great. So just to start off with my PBs before I started the training block: 5k was 19:45, 10k was 41 minutes 20, and the half marathon was 1:36:55. So that's where I was at going into the block. Before I actually started the plan started in January for an April marathon, obviously Manchester Marathon, April 27th. So the actual plan started in January, 16 weeks pre-plan. So in October 2024 to the end of December 2024, I did 3 months of base building. All of this was just running at an easy pace. I didn't do any 5k max efforts. I didn't really do any intervals, no tempo. It was just building mileage week on week. I started at around like 50-60k, built it up, and sort of by the December I was doing 100k plus a week. For the last few weeks of December, I ran to heart rate and not pace. And just to give you a quick idea on how good this base building actually works, if you're consistent with it and you don't get carried away and you actually stick to it, I used the Maffetone method by Phil Maffetone. It's a way where you can calculate what your what your aerobic base area is. To build your aerobic base, there's an area you can run within your heart rate that gives you sort of the best benefits. It's essentially building you a good base, but it's not fatiguing your body like it is if you run harder efforts, but it's also hard enough to improve your aerobic capacity. It's very, very good, and I'm just going to give you a quick idea of how much it worked for me, without going on too much, because you can research it if you're interested in trying it out. But in October, I was running, my heart rate to run at is 137 to 147 beats per minute. So it's 10 beat difference there. You can run anywhere in there. Try and keep it over 137 so you are working hard enough, but under 147 that you're not working too hard. Essentially just stay in that zone and run at that. My pace was about 6 minutes per kilometer to 5:45 on a good day, when it was like I was well rested and whatever. By the end of December, I was running the exact same heart rate between 137 and 147, but I was running 5:20s a K. So I literally got 40 seconds quicker per kilometer with the same heart rate just by doing this running. All I did was the same type of thing. I ran easy, mileage was relatively high, but it was easy running. Some days I doubled, some days I didn't. Made sure I still got rest days in so I didn't overdo it, and that was the improvement. So it built me a good base before I started the plan. The plan was a Ben Parks plan for 2:55 to 3:15 as finish times. That's the plan I went with, knowing that I wanted to run 3:15 as my A goal. Obviously, if I ran slower, I'll run slower, but I wanted an A goal to be something that was scary, that tested me, that made me push my limits. And I had 3 goals, and the A goal was 3:15. So that's the plan I went with. It was brilliant. I honestly can't fault this plan at all. Obviously, it comes down to me as well as the plan. Obviously, you can't just buy or do a plan that says you can run this time if you do this plan. It doesn't work like that, but obviously the plan does help massively. So and for me, I loved it. The type of running was varied, and the plan seemed to be like bang on what I needed. Like that the efforts were hard but not unattainable, and it was just brilliant. It was like £9, and it's done the job for me. The first week, so you can have an idea of the mileage I was running. First week of the plan was 61k. The highest peak week was 103 kilometers. So pretty high towards the end, but nothing I hadn't run before. I'd run 115, 120 kilometer weeks in the past, so my body was pretty well built for the higher mileage weeks anyway. And it had easy runs, tempo runs, interval runs, and then the long runs. The plan basically gave you pace recommendations for each type of those runs. So easy runs, 5:13 per kilometre to 5:45. You can run anywhere within that bracket. I did all my easy runs about 5:13 to 5:10. Towards the end of the block, some of my easy runs I was running near 5 minutes a kilometre because I got so fit that I could do it with a low heart rate, and it wasn't affecting me negatively to do a few seconds faster, and it just started to feel natural running around 5 minutes a k. Then tempo runs, that was 4:15 per kilometre to 4:24 per kilometre. Again, I did it all at around 4:15, sometimes around 4:10. I wanted to make sure that I was really pushing myself and making everything feel more comfortable, so marathon pace didn't feel so fast. That's something that I would recommend if you're able to do it. It depends how experienced you are as a runner and also what goal you're going for, because I probably may not be able to do that in my next marathon based on the goal I'm going to set. But in this one, 4:37 was my goal marathon pace, and I was, running my easy runs only around 25 seconds slower than that. So it wasn't an insane jump from my easy pace to marathon pace, which I think helped me be more comfortable with it. Long runs were amazing. I actually loved my long runs. Like, I know they can be quite, daunting looking at the amount of mileage you got to do, thinking, oh my god, I got to run this long. I always wanted to do my long runs without having a break because I really wanted to emulate a marathon. I know there's nothing wrong with having a little 30 seconds stop to have some water or whatever, but I just wanted to run every long run as if it was the marathon. So I planned, I have my gels, I had my friend cycling with me, so shout out to Brandon for that, and my brother Liam did it as well, and I did a couple solo, which not fun, but I'd practice my fueling, I'd take gels while running, water while running, literally emulate race day as best I could, and I thought that was the best thing to do. But the long runs were brilliantly structured, they built up gradually throughout the plan, and I nailed all mine, so massive confidence boosters. I'm not sure it's not always that easy, and it doesn't always happen for everyone, but for me the long runs were brilliant, and they really built my confidence that I may be able to somehow run 3:15 for my first marathon, but we'd have to see, obviously. The only bit of the plan that I slightly adapted was the interval section, being the fact that it recommended to run 4:06 to 4 minutes 12 per kilometre, something like that for the intervals, but my 5k PB was 19:45, so it would mean that I was doing intervals slower than my 5k pace. Now for me, I didn't want to lose speed, and coming into the plan I was actually progressing quite nicely over the 5k. I was consistently running under 20 minutes, or like every time I'd run a max effort or a hard effort 5k. I didn't want to lose that. I kind of wanted to try and build my marathon fitness, but still kind of not get slower at the short distance stuff. So I decided that I was going to change the interval paces just to be a little bit quicker, to test my body, not too fast, but something that I knew I could maintain for shorter distances, because pretty much all of my interval work was 400s, 600s, 800s. There was a couple of reps that were like 1600s, but you did like 1200 meters at like marathon pace then into a slightly faster for 400, so it wasn't like mega rapid for the whole rep. So I did all my intervals around 340 per k to 350 per k for longer reps. Any shorter reps, because there were some workouts with like 200s or 100 meters on, 100 meters off, I did those at 3:30 to 3 minutes based on the distance. So like some of the 100 reps I did at like 3:05, 3:15, whatever. But yeah, that's the only bit that I changed, was just adjusted the paces. Interval, I used the plan exactly, did the same actual mileage, distance and whatever, just adjusted the paces for the intervals. So what are my goals for the marathon? Yeah, marathon goals. I set a video on the TikTok when I started this whole journey. Goals were Seagull, finish the marathon. Obviously, marathon's a different beast. You know, 5k, if something goes wrong, you can jog to the end, walk, whatever. You know, 5k's, it, like when you running a lot, it's nothing. 10k, you can still quit out. Even half marathon, you know, if something goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. Plus, you can recover pretty quick and always do one again. If I buggered up a 5k and I was like, oh, I don't really want to finish because it really hurts, or I've gone off too fast, I'd just stop. 2 weeks later, recover. I've already recovered, can go for a max effort again. You can't do that with a marathon. So yeah, the marathon goals, that's why C goal was just to finish. But C goal was to finish, B goal was to run sub 3:30 or around 3:30, and the A goal was 3:15, the big goal. So those were my goals. In March, just over a month before the marathon, I ran Ironbridge half marathon as a training run at about 85% effort. This is where I finally got to see, where is my fitness? What is this marathon training doing for me? I'd not done any max efforts. I'd followed my plan to the letter. Every week I kept thinking, oh, I could just go and do a parkrun, man. I could just blast out a 19:30. I kept thinking something like that. You know, in my head, I knew I was getting fitter, but I just was like, no, stick to the plan, be disciplined, and you'll get the rewards on the day. Don't ruin it just to get your 5k down by a few seconds. You know, that's going to happen after the marathon. You've got forever to work on that. Stick to this, do the plan, then you can look at other stuff. I did the Ironbridge half, 85% effort. I ran 5k in 19 minutes, 8 seconds. Obliterated my PB by over 30 seconds. You know, crazy. And the fitness was there, obviously. I ran 10k in 39:13. That was probably the most mind-blowing part of this half, because I obviously broken 20, breaking 40 in the 10k is like the next kind of progressive step, and it was a big goal for me. I put it on my goals at the start of 2024 that I'd break 40 by the end of 2025. I've already done it. 85% effort of an 85% effort half marathon as well. So yeah, unreal. The day went amazing. Honestly, couldn't have ran better. I ran at 85%, felt amazing basically the whole way around, except for like the big hill. But I still didn't give up. At that point, I just carried on, just slowed down for the hill a little bit and then pushed on again. I ran 1:27 in the end, so almost a 10-minute PB basically from my last half marathon. I met Mom, one of my favourite YouTubers, Middle-Aged Running Man. If you haven't watched him, go and check out his channel. He's absolutely hilarious, and I've been buzzing to meet him for so long. And actually, the fact I actually seen him, and I was in his video for a little bit, it's on his channel, the Ironbridge Half Marathon from this year, was yeah, it was wicked. And I ran with my mate Brandon, so it was great to share that moment with him, that we were running together, and I was like, oh my god, I could break 40 minutes here, and I did. And when I ran over the Ironbridge, which was like around 14k, my mum, my dad, my brother and sister were there. I was just screaming, going, I've just ran sub 40 for the 10k, and I was just on cloud nine. So that was ace. So for the actual marathon race day kit, I wore a pair of Nike split shorts, my favourite shorts that I actually have. I love split shorts. I do like half tights. I do enjoy wearing half tights, just the compression feeling. They're comfortable. They're nice when the weather's a little bit colder, because I never wear joggers or leggings or anything. It's always half tights or split shorts. But I had a plan to wear some half tights, but the pocket zips ripped, so I couldn't store any gels in them. So, and I knew, looked at the forecast and knew it was going to be toasting on the day of the Manchester Marathon. So I just went with split shorts. I had a little clip belt that I bought from Asda. It was like £4. It fit 6 gels in, fit my phone in, and it just went around my waist over the top of my vest. So it didn't rub me. No issues with it. It was actually brilliant for the marathon. Probably just use the same thing again, because I don't really fancy spending £150 on a pair of sore marathon shorts. I'd like to have a pair of them, but I just £150 for a pair of shorts is balmy. I'll pay, I'll pay £200 for the shoes. The shoes are so important, but a pair of shorts, they look ace and they are great, but £150 for shorts is just balmy. So I went with a clip belt. It had 6 gels in there, and it had my phone. That's all I needed. So that was fine. I had my Sense running vest on because I ran in aid of Sense charity. So thank you to everyone that contributed. Actually ended up raising £425. Family, friends, everyone that supported that cause. I love you for that. It's amazing, great charity, and the vest is also very special to me. 1, being my first marathon vest, and 2, it's been customised by my 2 daughters, Winter and Delilah. It's got my name on. It's got a drawing of me with a lightning bolt, so obviously I was going to run fast. It's got little ink blots on there that even Delilah did. She's only 2, but she put a little bit of magic on there, and I've got my race number framed. So that was my vest for the day. It's very nice colours. I liked it. Very breathable. It's a Scimitar vest. They make really nice running vests. It's the same brand that my club vest is. So I felt really comfortable in it. Nike split shorts, clip belt, cap. It's a Columbia cap that I always wear. And glad I decided to take one because of the sun. And I wore a pair of £5 running shades, which I thought looked more expensive and made me feel like I was one of those really cool fast runners. So that was my race day kit. Shoes, couldn't forget the shoes. Nike Vaporfly 3, the most trusty shoes for me. I had a pair with about 500 miles on that died. Made me a bit upset. Got a new pair. Luckily got them on sale as well because the Vaporfly 4s had just come out and there was a lot of reductions on like the Vaporfly 3s. So I ended up getting them for like £160 or something like that, and they were like £230 or something when they came out. My first pair I paid like retail for because they were really new when I got the first pair. So yeah, the Vaporfly 3s for me, I'm gonna just literally stockpile as many pairs as I can, because I know obviously eventually I won't be able to get a hold of them with all the 4s coming out and stuff, but I'm just gonna get them. For me, they just work. Obviously a great carbon racing shoe, great for the shorter distances as well, being so light and springy, but for me they work for the marathon, and that's great because I know that they do, and they work for me for all other race distances. So I stuck to what I know, and I'm so glad that I did, because they gave me literally 0 issues on the day, and they were just to my benefit. That like they're lightweight. When I was 30k in and the cramps started coming, at least I had something light on my feet, so great shoes. Pre-race details: travelled down to Manchester by coach with my wife and daughter, from where I live, Telford to Birmingham, from Birmingham to Manchester. It was pretty good, no issues there. Got there the day before on the Saturday. We went to our hotel and checked in, then we went out, got some food. I literally ate like a pizza and fries, and kept it to something that I always ate before my long runs and something that I knew I'd comfortably digest, kind of keep it as safe as possible. Pizza and fries. Got into bed early, rested as best I could. Didn't have the best night's sleep, but it was good enough, really, for a night before marathon. The best you can really hope for, I think. So yeah, the other bits I want to talk about, for the pre-race kind of thing, the start area, still kind of pre-race before actual race starts. Start area outside Old Trafford. This is the bit I want to talk about as far as people are aware for Manchester Marathon. Hopefully it changes next year, this bit, because it was just one of the things that took experience from like 100 out of 100 to like a 90 out of 100, which is still great, but it made a big difference. So loads of portaloos outside Old Trafford, but I still feel like there weren't enough for people for the runners. I just don't think there were enough to facilitate the amount. I don't know if there's a way they can do something better, but I just think they need to, because it's a marathon and there's going to be literally thousands of people wanting to use the toilet. And not only was the queue super bad, I waited 25 minutes in one queue, and I was in the second wave. So obviously think after me there's still waves starting all the way from like 9 a.m. up to like 11 or something. I don't know actually what the latest wave was at Manchester, I do apologise, but it was late. Yeah, I'm sure there were still people starting at like 11 or maybe even after 11. So bearing in mind I'm in the second wave, you'd think, yeah, he's near the start. You know, elites aren't going to use that area anyway, so we're literally talking like a wave in front of me. No toilet roll. Everyone's coming out saying no toilet roll, no toilet roll. How there could be no toilet roll in any Portaloos there when I was in the second wave and it's a marathon, I just thought that is just shocking. That is not good enough, simply not good enough, because people are going to be, you know, not to be too descriptive, people are going to be going for a number 2. They need to get their system, you know, get out their system. They need to get their digestive system all sorted. They need to be ready to run and not, you know, spend time sitting down on a toilet. I ended up waiting in one queue for 25 minutes to find out no toilet roll, so I walked around to another area somewhere else where there's toilets, just thinking, oh, maybe it's just this row, which was like 10, and there was like none in there, these people in front of me, and I really needed a number 2, and I was like, I don't want to not go with toilet roll. I should have took some with me, but I didn't think it'd be necessary. When you pay the money you pay to enter these races and stuff, you don't expect there to not be facilities, and they had advertised that there's toilets at the start line, but you might as well have just gone in a bush, because you've got nothing to wipe yourself with, even if you go in a Portaloo, so there's no really benefit to it anyway, except for it's slightly more private. But I went to another toilet, still no toilet roll, had to go, so I did my business. I found one ply of toilet roll on the floor that it wasn't used, but it, you know, so I just did what I could with that and sanitised my hands a lot. Not the nicest of stories, but I'd want to be transparent with people about what Manchester was like. So that really knocked the experience, because it's pre-race. You want to just go to the toilet, do your business, and then get in the mindset of, I've got to run 26 bloody miles in a minute. You know, that shouldn't be something that you should have to worry about or stress about. So recommend take some tissue with you. Obviously, I'm going to do this next time wherever I run a marathon, just for safety, but it's something that could be improved to make the process better. Pre-start, the rest of it was great. There was vibes, there was music, and they got the races, you know, I know I was really near the front, but they got the waves off smoothly, on time, as they were supposed to go. Everything was good with that. Couldn't complain about anything in that respect. My plan for the race day, this one's pretty simple. Find a 3:15 pacer, run with a 3:15 pacer, try and stay with them all the way. If you feel okay and you're still with them at about 40, maybe push on. If you don't feel okay, still try and stick with them so you can get 3:15. In the starting pens, got separated from them. I was behind them, but then we got moved from like the starting pen onto the part which is right before the start line, where you just wait for literally a couple of minutes before you go. I got split from them as I was donating my t-shirt. They ended up starting 600 meters or so ahead of me, so pretty far. I could still see the flags, I could still see them, but I didn't want to put in a surge so early in the marathon, you know, just to catch them. So I used my watch as a guide. I ran knowing that I needed to run about 4:37 a kilometre to finish in 3:15. I only use my watch as a guide because obviously with a bit of weaving, with a marathon, you know, everyone always says you're never going to run the exact distance. You know, you'd have to run directly on the running blue line, which is in like London, to complete it exactly in that distance, and you probably still would be slightly off. So I just use my watch as a guide. All my goal was to try and run really close to the 4:37, just keep dipping under it as close as you can. And you should be okay, because you'll bank some time. So if you do end up running over, obviously everyone takes the chip time. You're probably going to run the marathon distance before you actually get to the finish line, based on weaving, going for bottles, trying to run in the shade was one of the things at my marathon, and probably some people's in London, that made a difference. So that's going to always play into the distance you run. So I use my watch as a guide, just to sort of do that. The race route, I thought the race route was brilliant. Honestly, Manchester's route is brilliant. It's fast, it's flat. Anyone that tells you they're hills, they're lying. You know, there isn't hills. People literally said hills like there was multiple hills. There was one hill that you could class as an actual hill in Altrincham. It's not even mega steep. It's quite long, but if you measure effort up it, it's totally fine. Plus you get some downhill on the other side. I think people, either I'm just really used to running like hilly because I live in an area and a lot of my long runs did have a lot of elevation in. I didn't run hills specifically, but I ran in areas where there's a lot of elevation change, so I think it made it easier for me on the day. But people saying it's hilly are just balmy, because you've actually look at the elevation like chart, it's literally, obviously there is hills, but there's downhill, so it evens out. Literally, I think overall it's like 10 meters uphill overall if you take away the downhills and take that away from the uphills. It's not hilly, it's a super fast course, it's a great course. The support was absolutely unbelievable. I can't even explain what it was like to run in those conditions. Like, I was so focused on what I was doing, I didn't even be able to take it in as much as I would have liked, but I had a job to do at the end of the day. But it was amazing. People were handing out sweets, kids were there with signs, people were spraying water out of their hoses like to cool people down. Those people, thank you so much. I ran through it every time because it was bloody 20 degrees. Legends. Everyone was so nice. The support was unbelievable. Like, it was just flat out unbelievable. Manchester, be proud, because that is something that I'm doing again, 100%. It was amazing. Race execution, this is a part where I could talk for about 10,000 years, but I'm going to try and keep it short. I couldn't have ran it better. Literally, I'm going to say I could not have ran that better. Reason being, I got split from the paces. This meant that I had to do a bit of work myself, measure my effort, not go out too hot, not let the adrenaline overtake me just because I'm feeling good, run too fast. Because I easily could have, like, I kept saying to myself, oh, this is so easy. Like, literally in my head, I wasn't saying it out loud, but I was thinking, why is this, am I just this fit? Am I just this good? Should it feel this good still? Like, 10k went past, felt like I'd been running for 2k. You know, but all I did, like I said, looked at my watch. Every K I was just saying, hopefully under, well, not saying hopefully, I was like, keep it under 4:37, keep it under 4:37, keep it under 4:37. Every K is just ticking it off, ticking it off, ticking it off. Even with the insane heat, I was still, my heart rate was so chilled. It was like in the 150s. Like, my max heart rate's in like the 180s. And like I said, my lactate threshold's in the 170s. So I knew I was chilling, but it was really early on that I'm talking about. So I was like, okay, just stick to what you're doing. Couple of seconds per K under 4:37. Every K you'll be sound. Just keep doing it. Stuck to it. Caught the paces at halfway. It worked. I got to halfway. I'd caught the paces up, and I was able to run with them for a few kilometers, and then I went past them. But anyway, yeah, kept to like the 4:37s. At halfway, I felt brilliant. I split the half in like 1:34 something, I think. Something like 1:34, which was basically what I wanted. I think it was like 1:34.50 or something. So I knew that if I basically ran that exact same time again, I'd be on like a 3:10. But I thought, yeah, obviously there's going to be some error in the second half, or, you know, the wall is going to come, which everyone says is going to come for you, no matter how good you are or whatever. So I was knowing, okay, I've still got time in the bank. If I slow down in the second half, I could still run like a 1:39 and still be, you know, okay. So at 24k-ish, somewhere around there, I saw Martin, who's my good friend, used to be my basketball coach and someone who I've loved having as a friend for this running journey, who's really helped me. He was with me and helped me towards breaking sub 20 a couple of years ago, really. And he's always there for me, always helped me, and he's a photographer as well. I didn't expect to see him. He just pops up at 24k, and I honestly could not believe I saw him. It literally made my day, like, as well as all the other things. But I didn't expect to see him. You know, my family unfortunately weren't able to come other than my wife, so it was like amazing. Like I was so happy. I saw him running. He was taking pictures of me and sprinting down the path to get ahead of me and take more photos. And he said he was just shouted out to me, like, and honestly, I had a spurt. That whole K, I ran like a 4 something silly, like 4:19, because I was like just buzzing because of that. And I settled back into the pace anyway. And honestly, I felt great. The wall came for me at 38k. Now, I don't know how many people can say that, but I couldn't complain. 38k in, I thought, bloody hell, I can't complain. I knew it was going to get hard at some point, and at least it was only 4k from the finish. So it got to 38k. I was literally aerobically fine, breathing fine, legs were just cooked. My calves felt like they were being pulled like from both ends so tight, they felt like they could snap if someone flicked them. All I thought in my head was, you bank so much time to run 3:15 now, just don't stop moving. I was like, if you stop and try and stretch them, it'll be harder to get going again. Don't stop, just slow down so they don't pull, and just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Like, I was going and I was just like, just do not stop moving. I kept swinging my arms to try and keep me pushing forward, and ended up getting to like literally the final corner. I come round the corner, the Pacers had overtook me about a K away, but obviously I started behind them, so I still had time in the bank. The Pacers go in front of me, and I hear the commentators say the Pacers come through in 3:14:20 something, and I'm pretty close to them. I just do what I think is a sprint. I saw a video of it. It literally looks like I'm walking. It looks like I'm about 90 years old, and I'm just walking back from the shops with about bloody 500 bags of shopping in my hands. I look like I'm literally crippled, but I'm sprinting in my head as fast as I can to finish, and I run 3 hours 14, and I did it. I didn't run 3:15, I ran 3:14, so I did it. Debut marathon, 3:14. All the training, months of hard work, and it was worth it for the feeling of that day. You know, finishing, found my wife, my daughter ran across me, across this green, little bit of green grass. They were sitting in this nice area near the finish, ran across straight to me. Oh, it was the best feeling ever. And to feel that I'd done you all proud, everyone that supported me, that donated to me, to feel that I'd done you proud made me so, so happy. So just to wrap it up, how was I happy, and would I change anything? Yes, I was happy. No, I wouldn't change anything. I feel like I could have probably ran 5 minutes faster, but that's just hindsight. If I went 5 minutes faster in the first half, or even 3 minutes faster, I may have blown up due to the heat. It was over 20 degrees. People were passing out. An ambulance had to drive on the course to take someone off. People were having heat stroke, sitting down, cramp all around me, and I'm literally really fair-skinned and ginger. I'm not great in the sun. I usually get sunburnt if it's about 14 degrees. On the day, nothing stopped me. I hydrated every single water station. I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't have ran 3:14. I could think I ran faster. Yeah, maybe. If I went on a flatter course in different weather, or not a flat course, the same course even, and it was 8 degrees, yeah, I probably would have ran 3:08, 3:05, who knows? But it's about this day, and I ran 3:14. I wanted 3:15 as an A goal. I can't change it. I didn't change it. I wouldn't change it. I'm happy. My future marathon plans, gonna run one next year. I want the rest of this year to focus on some other stuff, but next year I'll be running one. Not sure yet. Top of the list is probably gonna be Newport in Wales, because my dad said he'll definitely come if I do Newport. So I feel like I've got to do Newport now, because my dad comes to all my races but didn't come to my marathon, unfortunately, because he just couldn't. Neither could my mum. So probably Newport next year. It's flat, it's fast, and my dad will come and my mum will come. So yeah, probably Newport, but we'll see. Yeah, that's gonna wait for now. But the future marathon plans, I'm going to put it out there now so everyone can say, oh, you didn't do it if you didn't do it. But I'm still going for it. Sub 3's got to be the goal for the second marathon. Yeah, it's a long way, 3:14 to sub 3, but I'm not here to, celebrate running 2 minutes faster. You know, I don't want to run a 3:10 and be like, wow, I've run a 4-minute PB over a marathon. If I'm training for 3 months, I want a PB, and I want a big PB, and the next goal's sub 3, and I'm sticking to it. If I don't run it, I don't do it this time, I'll go again until I get it, and then I keep going, and the goalposts move, and they move, and they move, and they keep going, and that's how I progress. What's next for me? Training some 5k and 10k stuff. Really want to work on the shorter distance because I haven't done any track work or any really top end speed stuff. Just for a quick update, I bloody ran 18:43 today at the park run. Okay, this is mental. I don't know how this is happening. I haven't started my speed work yet, but I've had some, just slowly been building back into it after the marathon, and broke 19 minutes today. That was the goal when I went to park run, and I didn't just break it, I actually smashed it. I ran 19:06 last week, so I still PB'd it by 2 seconds from the 19:08. Now I've ran 18:43, and I know I can go faster, even more. Bit more training, working on some short distance stuff, looking at a 10k for the end of June to try and break 39 minutes, which based on the way I'm running at the moment should be doable. But 5k and 10k I'm probably going to look at for like most of the rest of the year now, because local ones by me are really good and I enjoy them. So probably do some 5k 10k races and work on that short speed endurance and stuff. And towards the end of the year, I'll probably do some half marathons as well. I'll do Shrewsbury half because it's just really cool and it's quite local and I enjoy it. And then towards the end of the year, I'll probably look to book a half marathon to aim for sub 125. I want to run like low 120s realistically now. For the half, that's the goal. So that'll be what's next. The marathon will be coming back in 2026. It will be for sub 3. But thank you all for your support. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop comments and questions if you have any, or advice for me, anything. I love chatting about running. I could talk about it forever, and I love the support that everyone's given me. I hope you enjoy the video, and keep up with the YouTube. I'll probably post some more on here soon. Keep up with the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook. Thank you for all the love. I really do appreciate every single person that sends me kudos on Strava or comments on a Facebook post or a TikTok. Like, it literally makes me so happy, and to try and inspire other people to do this amazing thing that's running is I love it. And I'm just happy that I've got such a big support team. So thank you all to everyone. Thank you to my family, my friends, my amazing wife, my daughters, my mum and dad, my parents-in-law, and most of all, thank you to God for the opportunity to be blessed to be able to do what I do. Thank you everyone. See you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.